Hey everyone, I'm going to dare approach a very, very probably controversial talk today. So if you don't like this, please do not leave nasty comments. This is just to help people who need to hear this. And what I want to say is, are you still secretly a carb lover, even when you're keto? Now, I am trying to be very careful about how I approach this because I don't want to hurt anyone on their journey. But I just think that there's a lot of keto people who are secretly carb lovers, even low carb. Or maybe you're looking at checking out a keto diet, but the idea of giving up carbs is almost like, it's a longing, like a guiltiness. Or some of you have cheated and you just feel like guilty, like, ugh. And I think this is very important to talk about because we weren't meant to feel guilty or to feel shamed. And I don't feel that carbs are horrible or evil, and you shouldn't look at them that way either. Now, for some people, I think there's different ways to approach this. But I feel like even if you're low carb or keto, there is nothing wrong with eating carbs here and there in your diet. Yep, that's right. I'm going to say that. The reason I'm going to tell you this, it's for several different reasons. Now, for the majority of us, if you are trying to give up junk food and you're trying to eat healthier and eating at home, I do not think that eating a sweet potato once a week or some corn or some rice is so detrimental that it's going to kill your diet or that you have just become this horrible person. And what I want to say with this is there's this guilt that I think we put on each other and ourselves. And I've definitely seen it in this YouTube community that when we eat something that's not exactly keto, is that we have these like rules and regulations that if you aren't like perfect, if you didn't eat strictly keto, then like, oh my God, you are weak and you are not dedicated and you're looked down upon. And it's like, oh, well, if she eats carbs, I'm not listening to her, I'm following her. Or, oh my gosh, I can't believe she would eat that. Or, I've definitely felt that with some of the foods that I eat. Or I do eat more protein and I do have protein shakes. And I know a lot of keto people tend to stick more towards fats. But even in keto, I'm not a big fan of bacon. I don't think that that's extremely healthy. Do I think you could use it as like a substitute, as like candy and eat that? Yeah, I think bacon's a great substitute for some of that stuff. I don't think it's, I think we're trading. It's kind of like the idea of the grass being greener on the other side. It's not greener, it's just different. We always think that something's going to be better or this other diet is better or that they're somehow better justified that they're eating better because they're not eating, maybe the way you're choosing, or like, oh, I can't believe she would eat corn. Like she knows that's not, keto or something. But, really, I think you got to do what's right for you and for your body, and you know it. And if eating corn and some rice and potato is going to stop you from becoming your old self and eating things that were bad for you, if you're not overweight anymore, by all means, please eat the potato, eat the rice, eat whatever you want. If it stops you, I think a lot of people would be hesitant to start this keto diet because they're really afraid that they could never give up carbs. And this is what I want to tell you, is that you don't have to. You don't have to give all those things up. If you love pizza and once every now and then you want to have some pizza, maybe you could make it healthier. If you're going to go out with family and you're going to celebrate for your birthday and you want pizza, why don't you put a bunch of vegetables on it? Get a gluten-free crust. Try and just eat maybe one piece or, whatever it is. But I don't think you should feel longing or guilt to eat it or to make yourself not eat it. So for those of you who are in this keto realm or debating what you want to do or how you're going to do it, don't feel bad. Don't feel bad. Even if you want to do once a week where you get to eat something that's going to be carby, but you're not eating out anymore, You're not overweight. You know what? I am darn proud that I have lost 40 pounds, and that was not easy. And, someone who's maybe never had to struggle with weight and they can jump on this keto thing and it's fine for them. For someone coming from a carb addiction, this has been extremely difficult and to keep on that. And if it means for me to be happy to have either a little bit of corn or a little rice or some potato here and there, then I am still proud of myself. I am happy that I made it this far. And maybe down the road, I'll decide to cut those things out too. But I am not ashamed of who I am or what I stand for or that I've made these decisions. And yes, I will still consider myself keto because most of the time that's what I'm eating. And that's how I lost my weight is I was very strict keto for a good 3 solid months. And no one can take that away from me and no one can take that away from you. And just own what you're doing, and that's okay. And other people may not agree with it. But you know what? We don't do well under laws and regulations and guilt and shaming people. That's why, what is the biggest reason why people fail on diets? It's because they're too rigid. People can follow them for so long, but it only takes one time to slip up. And, we're learning to have more grace for people who are alcoholics or smokers or, it's all the same people. And we've got to stop judging each other and blaming each other and start helping each other. And if it's working for you, it's working for you. Don't stop. If that's what I get, sick about is people like, oh, well, I decided coffee's bad for me. So I'm against anyone who drinks coffee. And I think you're weak because you can't drink coffee. How is that going to help anybody? How is that going to encourage them? Do you think if somebody wants to drop coffee, are they going to be willing to come to you and say, I want to learn to do what you're doing? They're going to be like, no. And maybe they might come to that decision on their own, but they're not going to want your help or for you to teach them. And I've always wanted to be that person that's really open and honest, that I would hope you would come to me and say, you know what? I noticed you've lost weight. What are you doing? I want your help. And I wouldn't want them to feel guilty, and I wouldn't want to shame someone into saying, well, I eat keto. I throw it out there to people. This is how I eat. I know that most people aren't going to go as far as I did as cutting those carbs out. And maybe for some of you, that's what you need to do. Maybe you need to give it up. I knew giving it up for a time, I didn't even know if I'd ever go back to eating carbs. And I know there's some things I can't ever really get indulged in. If I get a little bit too heavy into the fake snacks, doing the more low carb ice cream and stuff, that is my undoing. I just kind of go down that slippery slope. If I have a little bit of ice cream, then I want chocolate, then I want sweets, and I can't get myself out of it, and I get back into that. Now, I can do the savory. I can eat a little bit of potato. I can have some chips. I can do some of those things, and that does not throw me off. But if I get down to those things or I'm starting to slip, then it's like, all right, that's got to get cut out again. And I think that's when you know what you're able to do and you know what you're not. If you can't put a bag of chips down, do not have them in your home, because anything that controls you or your life is not worth that. But anything that you can feel in control of, that's okay in small amounts. It's just taking the time to learn and understand what's right for your body, and don't let anybody fool you or make you feel different. I hope this video helps you. This should help anyone. I'm putting this out here for keto people who do want to add carbs in back in their life, and they're feeling guilty for doing that you don't need to feel guilty. That you can do that if you want to. If it's once a week, once a day, it doesn't matter, or even for a seasonal period if you don't ever want to give up fruit entirely or something. I don't think giving up fruit for the rest of your life is going to make you, or adding fruit back and not being able to keep it out of your life is going to make you a horrible person. People eat all different kinds of things and stay healthy, and we learn all the time, and you've got to do what's right for you. So I hope this helps you. I hope this inspires you, and spread the word, share, comment below if this touched you or helped you, or if you had to do something, or maybe you're eating carbs too. Maybe put that below, because somebody else probably needs to hear that.